We have a severe thunderstorm watch now for the southern part of our state. That goes until midnight. And we've got it, so those storms, all of those storms will be generally south of 70. But this one, however, is the one of concern. Now it's still in an area that's allowing for some rotation. Radar is not showing it real strong, but this warning continues to go. I'm just looking at some of the, so there's, I can definitely see what's going on. There's cloud bases are really, really low to the ground. And if you want to pop that on, if you see that camera, if you see something on the camera, just pop it up. But the cloud bases are really, really low to the ground today just because of how humid it is. So this thing's getting into Carmel, and there it is. So that's our new update there. Let's look at the shear rate. So the rotating portion of the storm now and Kyle, if you can pop up, if we still have that camera, that should be moving right over that camera that I had, that one around 31. But if you've got a different vantage point, they must have changed that one on me. Okay, no worries. If Trevor's back there, if he can find, we want something along 31 there. I think they got a couple other NDOT cameras. And/or if we can get one of ours from downtown pointing in that direction, that would be great too. But from a wind shear, from a rotating, looking at the velocities, and so they've shaved off that backside of that polygon. So Zionsville, as I've talked about, you're fine. Nothing too terribly strong, but not to say that something couldn't spin up either. Okay, so this warning, so everywhere in this red box, the sirens are going off and definitely catching folks' attention. I don't see right now anything that's grabbing my attention that this is producing debris. I hope that holds. We're just going to have to wait and see. Doesn't even have a whole lot of lightning with it. But within this storm, as we show you the storm now, and so we can already start shaving some areas off. Eagletown, you're fine. If you're there along, I can almost give you the all clear on 161st there, but 166th, there near Jolietteville, we can give you the clear there. Shelbourne Road points west, you are in the clear. But right along, so there's Meridian, going up to Meridian and Maine, that's basically, it's coming right through downtown Carmel, okay? So this warning goes technically until 7 p.m. We'll get an update. I haven't seen anything new just yet from any spotters. Let's hope that holds as well. But I have had a couple of people tweeting me some pictures of some low-hanging clouds. We've got Kelly Green, who is at home in Fisher. So this is actually moving kind of toward her a little bit as well. And so yeah, we've got that. There it is. So there's the hook. Yeah, if Trevor finds anything around Carmel on the NDOT cams, let me know, because the hook is basically right there. Let me point this one out. So if we're going to get anything producing a funnel, it's going to be right in this zone here. All right. So Carmel, Newark Village. So basically 31. And even if you're near 465 on the north side, you could probably look right into that. I tell you what, what's our north side Marion County camera look like, Kyle? Can we punch that one up? If you want to split box it, that's fine. We'll see what that one looks like. Yeah, that's looking toward the east, so we're just too far south of the storm. What was the other one you had? Pop that one in there. Tornado warning coverage continues here. So let's. I'm sorry, that's our Salesforce camera. All right. Almost, yeah. So there you go. Westfield, I'd say the worst is probably to your south. Carmel, let's do that. We'll go from Illinois, Meridian, and points east. Be in your safe spots until this storm can go to your east here. As I mentioned, moving at 25 miles per hour. Very heavy rain. That's all heavy rain that's within this storm. Not a lot of lightning, just enough rotation and just enough spin that has prompted the warning. I think the funnel clouds as well, because the shear is not overly strong, but it is, as I meant, now it's just sitting right on top of Carmel, but moving toward the east there. So it's going right down Main Street, the rotating, the wind shear with this. Going right down Main Street. But everywhere on the western side of this box, there you go. Now we're starting to get it trimmed. So Westfield, I said you're fine. There you go. So now you can see how tiny this tornado warning polygon is. Eagle Village, fine. If you're 465 south right now, you're okay. And I tell you, is Trevor back? Trevor, can you get the US 31? There's a camera that's around 127th and Main Street. Can we get that one up? If Trevor's listening, I might try to see if I can find that one.
I think he popped up at 151st Street.
Okay. There's a camera that has the lowering that on it. It's not, based on what I just saw, it's not a funnel. It's definitely a lowering. So we've got a tornado warning here that continues for until 7 p.m. and it's going right down Main Street. This thing's going right down Main Street through Hamilton County, right into Carmel. All right. Yeah, I'm going to try to swing this, but someone just tweeted me a picture of it. So it is the lowering. Here's the hook of the storm. I mentioned Kelly over in Fisher is monitoring this, so heck, she might give us some pictures from her backyard if this thing continues. The radar velocity is not terribly tight right now on live Doppler 13 radar, but there is a lowering in the cloud base that still warrants the warning here. Yeah, I'm trying to monitor our chat rooms and social media. So it's possible at any given, this thing can produce a funnel, and let's hope it doesn't. Let's hope it runs its course here. But there's definitely a little bit of a lowering that's probably now east of Carmel and almost about to move out of the tornado warning polygon here. And that warning goes till 7. You got something, Jenny?
Just going to let you know that the camera now is 127th and US 31 if you wanted to look at that one.
Can you split by, or just pop it up full if you want there? We'll get a vantage point. Okay. Take that camera full if you can, Kyle. Yeah, there you go. And put me in chroma key, if you don't mind. If you can make it hot real quick, and then I'll hop back out. So, yeah, so what we're seeing is a little bit of the lowering there in that top right corner of the camera is a little bit of lowering here. So, well, just basically, we look for what we call a wall cloud, and so that's just it's actually a lowering of the cloud base kind of toward the ground.
Okay.
We had reports of funnel. I'm starting to see some of the spotters that are on this saying that it's looking a little ragged, so it's losing some of its what we call structure, which is a good thing right now. Let's hope that holds. This warning, by the way, it's a small, so it's a great job by the weather because you don't want to overwarn anything, so they're shrinking it up. The hook of the storm remains right. So if we're going to get something, and I mentioned that lowering, Jenny, so it would be kind of in that zone is where you would be looking for the cloud base to lower as it's wrapping around the hooking on the radar. That's typically where we find it. And that's where we had a report earlier from a couple of spotters that have been following the storm. But here's the deal. Even if we don't have a tornado per se, there's still going to possibly be some wind damage with this. And we had that with the storm earlier. But we know that the sirens are going off. If folks are just tuning in, let's clear this off. And again, Westfield, you are fine. You are fine. This storm is no longer a tornado threat for you. Now, your siren still may be sounding, but the tornado siren, the rotating is no longer a concern for you. Noblesville, the same thing. This will go to your south. This is going more east, almost east-southeast. So I mentioned Fishers, and I tell you, McCordsville, if you got some friends on Geist, I would be watching this because it's turning east and southeast. We're doing it about 25 miles per hour. So here's some additional ETAs. Within 7 minutes, Fishers, within about 15 Geist. I would put it no more than 20 to reach McCordsville at that speed if it holds that speed. So the tornado warning continues at this time with, let's take this back off. I'm going to do a quad box so I can just do a bunch of things at once here. All right, so this is a lot of data. Let's zoom in. So we're near Carmel once again. I'll do this so we can look at a lot of information at one time. I'm not seeing anything on our debris detector. That's the lower right corner. I'm not seeing anything on that right now that screams that we have debris. It looks like to me the rotation is on 116th. It's not strong rotation, but it's enough that it's keeping the warning going right now. So right in this zone here. We typically, we look for red and green. That's basically the wind blowing toward and away from the radar here. There's still a little spin. It's right in this zone here. Carmel, if you're in downtown Carmel, based on radar imagery, to me this is the threat for you right now is over. The threat for Fishers is going up a little bit because it's moving in that direction. So here's the rotation. So right there's Hague Road, and so it's basically coming into Fishers. And we're probably going to get some pictures of some low clouds there as well. Haven't seen any. Let me double check to see if we're getting any other reports of. Okay, so you remember. So the emergency management east of US 31 over Keystone, 96th and Allisonville, wall cloud. So if Trevor can hook us up, let's see, Trevor, if you're listening, buddy, look for 96th and Allisonville, closest camera there if you can, and if you get anything, let us know. So there, again, so wall cloud, Jenny, rotating, sure. But based on the emergency managers, and I think they have spotters out there, it's not lowering toward the ground, so it's basically maintaining its level. But
we're getting a lesson
yeah,
live right now. I appreciate that distinction.
But based on the environment, no one can tell you, hey, it's not lowering now, it's not producing a funnel now, but 5 minutes from now, could it be? Yes, because of the environment that we're in here. So we'll see.
We are also hearing that about a little bit of damage from previous storms when it went through Boone County. Our folks on the desk right now letting us know that in Lebanon, the intersection of Howard Street and Chicago Street closed because of a large tree on the roadway. So we're dealing with that as well. And we're monitoring Hamilton County right now, too.
Yep. So the Weather Service may extend this warning into Fishers and possibly into McCordsville based on how the storm is tracking. It's still not showing very strong rotation right now. I'm not seeing that, but probably enough that the spotters, and there's that camera, pop it up. If you want to go full on that, go ahead. So this is that's 96th Street. So that's where the spotters were saying, hey, we've got a wall cloud. And that sometimes can be precursor to a funnel cloud, and that is within the warning. But so here's the deal. Go split again if you want, Kyle. Thanks, buddy. I'm going to draw my line here so I can give folks the all clear. So there you go. West of that line, you're fine. Fishers, if you're in Fishers, Hawthorne Hills, Germantown, and so there's 69. This thing, if there is a wall cloud, it's going to go right across I-69. So Trevor, keep an eye out for the Fishers cameras there along 69. There's Hague Road. There's 96th Street, so right in this particular zone, right in here, if something is going on, that's where it would be taking place here. That warning, by the way, yep, so 2 miles, so this came in at 6:54. This was from a spotter. We've got a funnel cloud report that was 2 miles south of Carmel. So that kind of jazzes with the radar imagery that we've been showing you. And in general, if this is where if we're going to get a funnel now, that's where it's going to happen, right in that zone there. So the
Take a look at that. I guess the folks at the desk are saying that that's some showings.
Yeah, pop it up. That's great.
Yep.
And Kyle, if you, basically what I'm looking at now, everything, it's almost, the roughest is almost outside of this tornado warning polygon.
Yeah, there's the rain.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 And that's the other thing. These things are going to be prolific rain producers, that we know. So if you want to split box it, that's great, Kyle. So this is our shear detector, and so this is actually now moving out of the warning polygon. So to be determined whether or not the Weather Service is going to extend it. In fact, they just expired the tornado warning. So here's what we're going to do as we come up on the top of the hour. They're allowing that tornado warning in Hamilton County to be expired. There is some rotation. There's some wind shear that's over Fishers now. There's Geist. If you're in Fishers, we've been trying to tell you to kind of watch this. Maybe go ahead and get in your safe spots until this can pass you by. If you're watching in Geist and in McCordsville, Fortville, I would definitely be monitoring it closely. Don't be shocked if we get another warning out of this. Rotation's not terribly strong. It is still showing some rotation. It's still going to produce very heavy rain. In addition to all of this, before we wrap this up, we have additional storms, and that storm right there near Ellettsville is beginning to pick up on rotation, okay? So that's in Monroe County. If you're in Ellettsville, if you're in Bloomington, Lake Lemon, if you're in Nashville, because these things are moving east and a little bit southeast, watch them until they can pass by, and don't be shocked if we get additional warnings. In fact, that thing right there near Ellettsville is beginning to pick up. The rotation on radar perspective is a bit stronger than the one that's over Hamilton County. So let's go. We're going to take a break here. We're going to monitor. If we get additional tornado warnings, we will be back on the air. I'll continue to update on our social media platforms, and we will keep you updated. But don't be surprised if we get additional warnings out of this. The threat for severe weather, by the way, will be over, I believe, around midnight. But for our neighbors, for our friends there in Morgan, Johnson, and then that storm that's intensifying over Monroe County, we want you to watch that very, very closely. We may get additional warnings. We will keep you updated. Thanks for trusting us with your weather info. We'll get you back to programming now.